Hey, welcome to Battleground Believers. It's been a while since we've been in studio, and tonight we have special guest, Scott Gilliam.
Correct.
Nice to meet you. And he's a retired police officer, Bluffton Police Department, and I was hoping that you were still a cop. I got some tickets I need to get out of. I'm just kidding.
I've heard that before.
I bet. Again, Battleground Believers, this is our podcast. Again, we're available on Spotify and Apple Music and all kinds of streaming sites, as well as we have a TikTok and a Facebook page and an email address, battlegroundbelievers@gmail.com, if you want to reach out to us. But this evening, we're just going to get together with Scott. Excuse me. Our tagline is telling his story through your story. And so tonight, Scott, you're going to get to tell your story of life and the mistakes you made and however you want to share. If there's a no-go area, you just let us know. And we won't go down that road. And talk about who you were and who you were before Jesus, how you met Jesus, and all that, okay?
Right.
So right now, I'll just turn it over to Scott.
Hey.
And you start where you want. So.
Well, been my entire family, or my mom's family, was part of the regular Primitive Baptist Church. A little different.
What's it called?
It's called Regular Primitive Baptist.
Regular Primitive? Yeah, I mean,
there was an association of about 30 churches in Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, okay, at the time. And I had my grandfather, her dad, and two uncles, two of her brothers were preachers.
Where do you live in? I mean, is this in Bluffton or is this?
We lived in Bluffton the whole time.
So your whole life?
Yeah.
Okay.
But all of this association has lay preachers. There are no full-time preachers.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we would travel. We'd leave on Friday night and go down to wherever we were going to that week: Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, wherever it was.
And you're a kid traveling with your parents.
With my mom, my uncle, yeah. And this went on for a number of years. And when I was 15 years old, I gave my life to God in a small little church in Virginia. And,
wow.
Yeah. And then I was baptized in October of that year in a dammed up creek in Kentucky.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's a little different.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's memorable though. Mine was in a tub in a church.
It was just a creek that ran beside the church, and they would dam it up and have baptism. It was very cool. It was nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. There was probably 150 people there. I don't remember.
So you were exposed from a young age, preaching and teaching, but it wasn't until 15,
right? Until
you were like, maybe this thing's real.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And then I continued to go, and of course, in the wintertime we couldn't go all the time, but we'd make 20, 25, 30 trips a year to go. There was a lot of driving.
Is that what your parents did? They were lay ministers, were they like mailmen on Monday through Friday and then travel on the weekends?
Oh no, my dad was a truck driver. My mom was the assistant superintendent for Bluffton Harrison Schools.
Oh wow!
So yeah.
Okay.
And then it was mostly my uncle who lived in Pennville, Indiana. Went with him.
I used to deliver soda in.
Oh yeah.
To Pennville, yeah.
Yeah, there's not much left in Pennville anymore.
No, last time I was there was Well,
I had quite a few family down there when I was growing up. So, but I can't tell you how many cars he went through. Just going to church and back.
Yeah.
But
back in the day, then big. I had a Delta 88, got like 7 miles, 4 miles a gallon.
He liked the Chevy Impalas. He went through quite a few of those.
Oh wow! But man, I think it'd be fun to not have to go. Well, I guess they didn't, but if I didn't have to go to my Monday through Friday job, I was just constantly traveling. And but I'm an empty nester.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Let me come back and visit my grandkids and kids a little bit, and then go back out on the road. To me, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very cool churches. I haven't not exposed my wife to that church yet. She'll be in for culture shock because they are different. But
so I mean, are they again, I'm just asking so I understand. They're pretty much fundamentally just like Baptist, or is there something crazy like you have to do this on Tuesdays?
No, nothing crazy like that. They don't have music in the church, so everything is sung a cappella or whatever by by the congregation.
Man, I remember some people used to...
And it's in a very, I don't know what they call it. It's kind of a sing-songy rhythm. I sang, and then you sang, and then... No, everybody sing together.
Oh.
Yeah. You'd have to look it up online. And they're hard to find online.
Are they?
Yeah. So, but that was my exposure at an early age. And, I continued going with my uncle and my mom or whoever, my grandfather. Actually, my grandfather, by that time, he lived down there. So, I stayed at his house once in a while. And
so at 15, you give your life to Christ, but you guys are still traveling and preaching?
Yeah.
So are you now like, hey, I want to do this? Or?
You know what? I mean, with this church, it was always, they considered it a calling. And if you're not really led to it, then you don't do it. And I'm sure there were some elders in that church that thought, well, there's some young blood, maybe.
Yeah, we got to keep this thing going.
But I never really felt that calling, at least not at that age,
At 15, did you think one day did you watch an episode of Cops and think, hey man, that's what I want to do? Or how did the transition go from traveling around to all of a sudden like...
I don't really know where that came from. I think I took some college classes, and I did a ride along with Fort Wayne PD, and I thought, this is pretty cool. So maybe that's where that all started. But so just after I turned 22, I became a police officer in Bluffton. I was the youngest officer they'd ever hired.
Wow, 22.
Yeah.
But just so you know, I watch a lot of Law and Order, so I'm pretty much a police officer.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you are.
So I'll know exactly what you're talking about.
I still watch true crime all the time, man.
So 22 years old.
Yep.
So did your faith, at 15 you got saved, got baptized in a creek.
Yep.
Did your faith grow, or did it just kind of stay steady?
It stayed pretty steady for the longest time. And then after I became an officer, I was working nights and weekends, and, I wasn't being able to travel. And, life circumstances changed. My uncle passed away. So kind of fell away from that church in particular. Mm-hmm. Started attending church more locally when it was possible. And then...
But faith was very much, like, you still, did you just, like a lot of people, they're like, I'm a Christian, I just, I'm out here doing my thing, and...
Exactly.
It's more of that's a secondary...
Yeah, it wasn't foremost in my life at that point, and remained that way for quite some time. And in 1991, I married my first wife, and my kid's mom, and we had was it 91? Yeah, we had a decent marriage, but we were attending church on a regular basis, and by that time I had weekends off pretty much, so we were even doing a Sunday school class, and this would have been mid 90s. Mm-hmm. We were helping with the youth at the church we were at. But the devil got a hold of me somewhere along the line there. Mm-hmm. Even when we thought we had it together, we didn't have it together.
Yeah.
I was not a very good husband. I wasn't abusive or anything like that, but just strayed from the marriage vows.
Understand, yeah.
More than once, and that kind of destroyed that marriage. She lost faith, and she lost faith in me, and now that I look back on it, I get that. It was tough.
So you, although you strayed, you still wanted to stay in that marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys, and myself included, and when you're in it, Like you can't explain, like now you can't look back and go, well, some people can, but I think some of the things that happened when I was a young man, I'm like, what in the world possessed me? What was my mindset? Why was I thinking like that?
Yeah.
And but the redemptive power of Jesus is, you know,
Sure.
it's the old is gone, and then you know the new, be transformed by the renewing of the mind. So
Right.
any mistakes we made, now granted we don't necessarily want to do that, but we're not going to dwell on that. That's not who you are. That's a moment in time.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that while you were talking about that, at some point that's why it's so important to read and pray daily and read your Bible daily, and
And I wasn't doing that.
yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah, and
You know?
yeah, most guys we met, that's pretty much, they get saved and they're in love with the Lord and they're going to church and they're doing the right thing, but their day to day, it's more like sup, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know you're out there,
Right.
and that's when the devil says,
Yep. It was. It got pretty bad. I mean, you know, it really did, and
did it affect your job?
it did. Yeah.
And I'm guessing, because like I know when I got divorced, the people that I went to church with that were not big fans of me, which totally respectable.
Right.
But it was hard because I'd see them in the community,
Right.
and you could tell they were really uncomfortable. They didn't want to talk to me. So I mean, living in Bluffton,
Small town. Yep.
yeah, that's a small town, and everybody knows everybody. So that had to be doubly rough.
It was. It was. Eventually, actually, I even moved to Michigan for a little while, but just to kind of get away from that small town.
Oh
deal.
yeah, I understand that.
You know, we'd had a daughter in '93. We had another daughter in '96.
I graduated from high school in '93.
I know, I'm old. I know.
Yeah, but I thought we were like the same age.
So, what, 2003, 2002, somewhere in there, she got tired of me and threw me out. And that was a really rough time, you know.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you in my experience, when you indulge in that behavior, there's almost some arrogance, like,
oh yeah, I thought I was invincible. I really did.
And then when the world crumbles,
You know, it crashed, and it crashed hard.
Yeah.
That was.
Did this behavior and stuff affect your employment?
It did. Yeah.
It did. Yeah.
I ended up retiring after 16 years, just because of the pressure and, you know, everything that was going on, and, you know, getting away from the small community. Just. That's
so. Excuse me. I'm just trying to get the timeline in my head. So you worked 16 years, then you went through this. You retired. That's when you didn't move out to Michigan and then come back and become a police officer again?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
Yeah. The one thing, there was one good thing that came out of that marriage ending. I mean, not that it was good, but like I said, I hit rock bottom. And, you know, I lived on coffee and cigarettes for, I don't know, months. But at some point I did seek a marriage counselor. And I've been trying my hardest to think of her name. She was a little old German lady. Had a practice in Ossian, Indiana. And God bless her soul. She was amazing. And I just loved her to pieces. My ex-wife wouldn't go to marriage counseling at all. So, but I went.
She was hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went, and I went for a little over a year. And I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about life through her. And she made me a better man, and she made me a better husband to my now wife. Yeah. And I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, like when I'm at work and guys make mistakes, and they're working and they're learning, they'll make a mistake. So when I talk to them, like afterwards, especially if it's something that fires off a corrective action, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's some things that it's like, I tell them, hey, going forward, this is where you're going to define who you are. Are you going to take this mistake and then just wallow in the fact that this happened and the company had to react this way, or are you going to go, hey, this is what I did in the moment, and I'm not going to do that again.
Right.
And that's when you define character, is how you react after
you mess up.
Yeah, it doesn't take away, like, we don't forget the mistakes. I still struggle sometimes with guilt and shame. And Tyrell Lindsay, he's a guy in here, he told me, we had a conversation about carrying guilt and shame, and so he'll kill me for saying that. Good brother in Christ. And but anyway, sometimes for me, I carry that guilt and shame, and I can't get past it. And so the devil, why he destroyed, and it's not the devil's fault, I made the decisions, but I think there's times where there's some spiritual warfare going on.
Sure.
And but again, I'm not saying the devil came over and said, hey, Brad, I think you should go do this. I think he just created opportunity.
Yeah.
And I made compromise.
Yeah. Exactly.
And but I don't want to be known as that guy. That's not. I don't want to get to heaven. And they go, hey, you made it to heaven, but you have to wear the shirt that says adulterer. Or, you know what I mean. Yeah. And that's not who Jesus is.
That's
Jesus,
not. Don't think that's
as far as happen. East is from the west.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go back into the story.
All right.
So you're 15, get saved, you start going out, become a cop at 22.
Yep.
Were you married before the police officer or after?
After.
Okay, so you meet this woman, fall in love, and you have some children, and life is going along. And I'm assuming at some point you started making compromises in your life.
Yeah.
Meaning,
even while we were still involved in the church and involved in the children's ministry at the same time.
Yeah.
So, living the double life, basically.
And that's the hardest thing, because I can remember a time where I was addicted to porn. And so that's what drove my thing, because it set up, unmet expectations and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. And I got no excuse. I just started looking at it. And once it's like cocaine, man. Yeah, even today, if I would see, it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, I want that so bad. I want to just be able to go home and wallow in depravity for an hour. I don't. Right. But I'm saying that that feeling. Right. And so that's what drove my the things that the decisions I made. And I made compromises, but but during that time I was like in charge of youth at one point, and I would have services, and amazing things would happen, and I would go home and I would cry, and every time I would look at pornography, I'd go home and cry, Lord, I'd be on my knees, please take this from me, I'll never do it again. I'd go like 3 days, I'd go to church, I'd preach a sermon on a Wednesday night, right? And like 4 kids would get saved or whatever, and we'd have an amazing day. And then, Friday night, I'd argue with my wife, and Saturday morning, she's like, I'm going out for a bit. And I'd be like, where's the laptop at? Where's the laptop at? That kind of thing. And so, but I think that's we as men, and men, I think that's a major attack. Is
sure
that is
where he, for me, it wasn't necessarily porn, but, I think people, or women in particular, were put into my life to try and distract me, and I let it distract me.
Yeah. Well, porn is the thing that...
It's the same concept.
Yeah, porn got me to the point where I wasn't afraid to make bad decisions, but it was the... like when a girl's like, oh, because you're in a marriage you're struggling because you're not taking care of your marriage. And then she's like, hey, you're a good looking guy and you do amazing things. And that's what I was looking for, is that feeling of somebody sees me as something great, even though I knew I was a piece of dirt and I wasn't taking care of my marriage. This person over here is feeding some need, and it was very short lived. And then afterwards, I'll never do it again. And, you have to forgive me. I got this cough. I cannot. It drives me crazy. I think it's a spiritual attack. We can't blame the devil for everything.
No, we can't.
It's like I'm trying to lose weight, and then I go to the donut shop and all the. I say, hey, if the parking spot's open, I know God wants me to have one.
That's right. Yeah.
But anyway, so now you're teaching class. If you want to, how did this all kind of come? Did you get caught?
Culminate.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
And you don't have to go into details.
Right. Well, I confessed at one point, and we kind of worked through that, and then it happened again. And the lady actually went to my wife and told her. So yeah, that was the beginning of the end for that. And
yeah. So my question then for you is, when you confess the first time, because I always sat on the fence, and I'd be so drawn to the Lord Jesus Christ, but I'd be so drawn to this other side, and I lived this dual life. And when I was over here, in the moment, I loved it, but then I hated it, and I hated myself. But then I would do this ministry stuff, and I would love it in the moment, but then I'd hate it because I would think, I don't deserve it because this is going on and nobody knows.
Right.
And if I get discovered, this whole thing's going to crumble. So is that why you confess? Like, one day you were like...
Yeah, it was just... Yeah, the guilt. And I was tired of the guilt. But like I said, it happened again. So... wasn't too smart, I guess.
Well, again, yeah. I mean,
wasn't the smartest cookie,
Yeah, I mean, praise the Lord that we serve a God of
forgiving,
of redemption and not
absolutely.
Of condemnation.
Absolutely.
And again, not that we're saying it was okay that you did that, but that the Lord looks at you and says, "Hey, Scott, I love you.
Yeah.
Go and sin no more."
Yeah. Yeah.
God, or Scott, I still love you.
Yeah.
Please go and sin no more.
Yeah.
It doesn't give us a right to go out and do that stuff, but thank goodness that Jesus took that
Right. And
did that.
And that was part of what that marriage counselor in Elassian, she kind of reintroduced me to that concept and reintroduced me to, living the walk. And, she didn't have to do that. That wasn't part of her therapy.
Was she a Christian counselor, or she just had... She was.
She was a Christian counselor, but I'm sure that, she was elderly then, so I'm sure she's probably gone to her heavenly reward, but I wish I could remember her name. I really do. She was amazing.
One day you'll see her.
I will.
And say, "Hey, I remember you. Thank you so much."
Exactly. Exactly.
That's pretty cool. That's the one thing about the Christian life too, is it's sad when we lose people, but but if we know they're saved and a believer, that one day we will see them again and get to say and hug them and tell them thank you for what they did.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that drives us to do the things we do. So now you go through divorce, and I'm guessing it's ugly, because scorned women don't just go, "Hey, I'll tell you what, let's just cut this up, and you take this and I take this." Usually it's I'm gonna crush.
We really didn't.
Really?
We really didn't fight that much. Not over material things or anything like that. She just wanted out. So, as far as a divorced guy, I guess, as far as the divorce goes, I came out okay on that. But it was still the hardest part. And I can remember to this day, the day I left, I went up to my daughter's room and sat with them, and we all cried, and that was tough. That was the hardest day ever. And I missed my kids so much.
Yeah.
I'd have them every other weekend, but man, I missed out on so much.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I didn't want to be married anymore. I had gotten to the point where I just did not like myself, and I really didn't like my ex, and I just didn't want to be married. Yeah. And so when the divorce time came, everybody said, divorce is hard, because even if you want the divorce, you still kind of want that person. Yeah. I never experienced that. Now, the night I left, and my children, I still have nightmares about, my son tore out of the house and he's like this tall and screams at me and says, "Dad, get back in here," and I'm crying, and it was rough, but it's whew. Well, we're kind of winding down this episode now. I kind of want to talk about the redemption, like that year, and how that all took place, and then how you kind of moved through that, and then to where we are. To where we are, and then obviously you can talk about your present wife. Yes. Very nice lady. I got to meet for the first. My last wife. Your last wife. Yes, yeah. She's the last. That's it. Yeah, you ever seen that TikTok thing where they're like, my current wife, and the ladies are like, My wife, I was watching it and I was giggling, and my wife, I hear her go, "If you try to do that for me, I promise you I will break your knees." So, I love you, baby. You're not just my current wife, you're my only wife.
That's right.
And my last wife. I'm too old to get any more. But I love my wife. I'm not.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and wind down right now. We want to thank you so much for being a part of the audience. And we want to thank Scott for taking the time. He is coming back next week. And we'll continue this conversation. And it's kind of, I like it because we're kind of getting into the fun part and talking.
The good part, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the bad stuff out of the way now.
Yeah. And now we're going to see the redemptive side. So make sure you come back so you can find out, hey, I'm going through a bunch of crap in my life. But there's the other side, right?
Yeah, there is.
And so, shout out to Matt Carter, who wasn't able to be here tonight. We love you and miss you. Look forward to you being back in the studio as well. And Battleground Believers, out. See, I'm out of practice.
Yeah.